Thumbs up.
Oh,
We're live. We're live on
Wow.
Facebook. All right. Molly did the thumbs up. Cool. All right, everybody. We have probably the most tit show I've ever done in my life gonna happen today. So let's get ready.
Hello, universe. Welcome to Off the Rails with Tom and Mark.
Welcome back, universe, to Off the Rails with Tom and Mark. Episode 22 of our second season, our first ever 22nd episode. Nate.
Coming to you live on the internet with the Caldwell Baker Home Sale Realty Studios.
Hey, if you're looking to buy or sell a house or interested in a career in real estate, email my guy Roy at cbhsr.com or give him a call, 414-235-0763. I remembered the number, and that is awesome. And today we are here with a special wrestling show. We have first, we'll start with the world famous comic Nate Ford co-hosting as always.
Hello, everybody.
We have Hot Gina. We have the simply amazing Justin Dredd, and we have Bulletproof Ben, who's going to tell his story. Do you go by Bulletproof Ben now or Mickey McCoy?
Oh, it's Bulletproof Ben McCoy. Mickey McCoy, I think, died somewhere in Las Vegas.
Okay, so you're Bulletproof.
I think I saw him walking Boulder Highway.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Excellent. So just a couple quick cleanup announcements. Twisted Dream is kind of on hold. I was supposed to interview Lloyd Kaufman, and Jeff was supposed to be the Toxic Avenger in Total Hollywood makeup last week, so just stay posted with that. Destination Down on Liam Comedy Night. That's on hold. I don't know what else to say about that. So that's about all the tidy work I have to do. Why don't we get into talking about, we pretty much all live together.
Yeah.
At the same time.
We really did.
Kinda, yeah. I just
Gina
never
was there
left.
all the time. Yeah, she just never left, but I lived at Terry's house and Ben lived there too. And comic Nate Ford.
I
We
never
met you
lived there, but
might have
I
been
was there
there.
in spirit.
That was the ultimate party house, man. We got stories for you. It is crazy. Ron is here. Excellent. But what do we always do first, Nate?
We do a hot seat. I don't know. We talk. We go to the notes.
I can't find my freaking button for the hot seat.
It's where it's always been. I didn't move it.
Molly, I don't see
It's
that.
Tommy, okay? This is complicated.
I don't. Do you also do
Ah,
like the
there it
notes
is.
too?
Okay.
It's the hot seat!
What?
It's the hot seat!
What?
Hey, Doobie's here.
The hot seat with
What?
Tom and Mark!
What out of
You guys want to see what my thing looks like?
Nobody
Yeah,
wants to
let's do
see
a
your
little-
thing, Tommy.
That's how many freaking buttons I have. So
It's your fault.
cut
You
me
picked to get
break.
that many.
by the way, what out of
Some slack, you guys.
80s rock and roll band member did you get to play that song?
That sounds like a Steel Panther guy. I
Yeah.
don't know. We paid him on Fiverr and he did it, and it was awesome.
Okay. All right, we got a sixth guest, so I'm jumping out quick.
We got a sixth guest. Is that Doobie?
She's gone.
Who do we got?
No, it ain't Doobie.
It's the local legend himself, Jeff fucking
Oh, my
Krueger.
God.
Oh, this is gonna get sick.
Uncle Jeff.
We all
no.
party house together. This is oh man, I'm gonna have some embarrassing stories
You-
coming
you
up.
know-
I would have, if I would have known the Krueger brothers were in this, I would have never signed up for this.
You would have been the first one signed up for it.
It's back to
Oh.
keeping up with the Kriegers.
There we go. Ball
Yeah.
tugger.
You know, my favorite episode of Off the Rails with Tom and Mark is when me and Jeff took over.
That's true. That was a epic episode. I actually just rewatched that, Nate.
That's the first episode he watched. He's been on 20. He's watched one.
You know.
Hey, Lori, how you doing? This episode better not be at work. No, we're gonna get into some wrestling stuff, but first we got hard shell versus soft shell tacos. What do you guys like?
Ooh.
Soft.
Soft.
Definitely soft shell.
Unless it's the hard wrapped in the soft, then you get best of both worlds.
Ooh, yeah.
Double decker. Ooh.
All right.
Always got to be fancy, don't you, Gina? God.
Yeah, way to go.
The
How
cheesy
we roll out
gordita.
here.
Actually, Molly can come up here and be on my camera. I don't know why she's still hanging out downstairs, but
Social distancing, Thomas.
Right?
yeah, we broke that.
It's her escape from you.
Plenty. Plenty we broke that.
Oh,
Reaction to a bad present. Do you tell someone this is a bad present, or do you fake it and turn yourself into a liar?
Depends on the reaction of my face.
Liar.
You're a liar?
Tom, you and I've talked about faking it before.
Say
Yeah.
hi to everybody.
We have.
In-depth conversation. So
Never mind my tie-dye wife.
I'm not one to fake it, so I just kind of tell them how it is.
Okay. Nate, fake it or lie?
It depends on who it is. It's gonna be 50-50 with me, because if it's like friends, I'll be honest with them. But if it's like family, I kind of lie to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ron says it depends on who gives it to you.
Ask my brother.
I think we'd all lie to.
at all.
Wouldn't we all lie to our moms though? Like we would all lie to our moms.
Yeah.
We would all be like, "Oh, thanks, mom. That's awesome. Really."
No, I tell her it's horrible.
That's what
And then I give it back.
Oh,
I
what?
was talking about the rest of us humans, Gina.
In fact, I'm pretty sure most of you have been around when she's given me a bad gift, and I just hand it back. I'm like,
Try again.
Yep. Fail.
My 5-year-old has no problem telling me like, "Dad, this is awful. Why would you get me this?" And I'd be like, "Well, because you said it was the commercial." She goes, "Yeah, this isn't the glittery commercial one. This is the regular." Are you? She called me poor in Walmart last week. My 5-year-old, Daddy, why are we getting the cheap gift? Is it because you're poor? No.
And it's bad that like it was in Walmart.
Oh.
It wasn't like Toys R Us. It was like Walmart.
Yeah.
Are there still Toys R Us around?
They're trying to bring one back around the corner from our house.
In Japan, there is one.
Yeah, I was about to say the last one me and Terry saw was in Japan. So. But it's not
You
the
should
good
take her to the. You should take her to the youth ranch and say, "We are poor. I have to get rid of you now." Here at the youth ranch.
See that over there? That's your new mommy.
They'd ship her back. She's got
Who's-
the personality of a rattlesnake, so.
All right, who's the metal band that does all the Christmas music? That's really cool. That always
Steel-
comes every.
Steel Panther?
No, they do strictly metal music. What's up, Dewey?
Are you talking Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So one year I really liked Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and then my mom for Christmas got me a Mannheim Steamroller CD because she didn't know the difference. And I'm like,
awesome.
what the hell am I supposed to do with Mannheim Steamroller, Ma? This is a bad gift. I want Trans-Siberian Orchestra. All right, thanks, I guess. What is the worst way to die? Fire, drowning, animal attacks, any way you can think of. What's the way you don't want to go out?
Carol
That's tough.
Baskin.
I told Roy to stop messing around with Carol Baskins. He had his throat ripped out by a tiger, and now he's dead from a cold. So I think there's something fishy going on there.
I guess one of those big
Alone?
bees, the murder hornets or
Murder
whatever.
Okay.
That I hate bees in general, but something that huge would I don't know.
I think that's a better way to go out than, COVID.
That thing could stick its stinger down your throat like a prison rape. It's that big.
There was one that size in my patio the other day, and I really seriously thought about burning the house down.
Okay.
I also
I
called
would-
everyone I knew and asked if they'd come over and shoot it.
Let's be real. I'm gonna go out trying to open a beer bottle and while I'm driving and just crash into a guardrail or something stupid.
Thank you. Our professional hockey playing bomber Goon is going to be open a beer bottle with his eye while he's driving.
No, dude. You know how hard it is? You keep your bottle opener on your key ring, and your keys are in your ignition while you're driving, trying to open a beer bottle. Fucking terrible.
No, I had Mr.
never
Dicker
had-
as a driving instructor. He didn't let me do that.
Tom, did I tell you about the time I got pissed off at the kid for texting and driving?
Yeah, you were on the phone.
No, I
While
wasn't. I was.
you called me.
I had my. Well, it's because I had my beer in my hand. It was hard to yell at him.
Oh my god. All right. Do you guys believe the theory that the line on the top of a laundry bottle is fake to make you use more laundry detergent than you should, so you buy more laundry detergent?
I've never heard that.
No, I don't believe so. Never heard that, but I don't believe.
But you're probably using double what you should, so they make you buy more laundry detergent.
That line
I think, or
doesn't tell
you
what have
eyeball
to. It's a recommendation.
the amount based on the load.
Well, they already have a patent. Wrigley's has a patent for gum that never loses its flavor, and they just keep it and never release it.
I've never actually used that line thing. I just do what my mom used to teach me, which is take the cap off and do a full circle with it, and then put the cap back on and start your washing.
What is this laundry you guys speak of?
Nate's a cartoon character that has one outfit every episode.
And that's why you're filming from home.
Is that what my mom does? Is that the thing that...
All right. Yeah, that's the thing that Molly does too. Molly and your mom got something in common.
Yeah.
All right.
I do laundry at work.
Worst flavor of chips?
Pickle.
Plain.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Actually, for me, it's all these spicy ones that they're coming out with, like extreme spicy.
At home,
I
at
don't-
work.
Like, hold off.
Wasabi.
Yeah.
Barbecue.
I can tell you the most disappointing one. I was super excited for the chicken and waffles mix up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I ate it, and I was like, "You guys need to refund me. This was a lot."
Yeah.
They give you chip blue balls, dude.
Why is this gonna
Very
come?
much.
Oh.
It's like one of those things where you walk home in the rain and some soft, sad music is playing. And you just put your head down, like, I can't believe I fell for that. Awful.
Can we all agree that the best chips are the all dressed?
All dressed?
All dressed.
What are
Yeah,
those?
that's pretty good. Yeah.
I can agree that you got something stuck in your mustache right now, but
Nothing.
solid.
It's there.
All right. We all live together. This is going to be an ego boost for me. What is your best memory of hanging out with Uncle Tom?
Oh my God. You fit. Oh, go ahead.
You're cooking.
This is a trick question, right?
Best
I'll
memory.
let
of
you know
Tommy
when I
is
have a good
is
memory
cooking.
of you, Tom, is what you're saying, Gina?
No. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Steph said that your cooking when she was pregnant was awesome.
All right. Cooking.
When he wasn't passed out in the basement.
You
Yeah.
actually
Was that
saved me
ever?
He wasn't
from a
passed out
ton
in the
of
basement.
money.
What's that,
Tom
Ben?
saved me from losing a ton of money. When I first moved in with Terry and Jeff and Tom, I had T-Mobile, and my cell phone reception would cut out when I walked in the front door, and it would be dead in the whole house. I had no service. I'd have to make phone calls out in the driveway. So I'm really lazy, and I did that for like 2 weeks. And I finally, Tom comes up and goes, "Why are you checking in the driveway?" And I explained to him my situation. He goes, "Give me the phone. What's your full name?" And I told him. He goes, "1 second. You got your credit card?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "1 second." And he like got me out of my contract. I didn't have to pay any service fees or anything like that. I got to switch over to a brand new thing. They reimbursed me my last month of cell phone bill because technically they broke contract. And he saved my cell phone life. That's my best memory. Because you were such a boss, you're like, "No, I got this. It's fine."
So, yeah, I'm a good salesman. Look at, I have a beautiful girl that bangs me. Of course, I'm a good salesman.
I'm still trying to figure out how much you pay her.
Yeah, me and Terry always had a $1 bet over there. mail order bride or someone trying to escape the mafia, but we've never
Darren,
found
we're
out.
going to talk about your beard later too. Don't think you're getting out of that. Would you rather fight 100 ducks or 1 kangaroo?
Oh,
One
ducks.
kangaroo.
Ducks.
Kangaroo.
No.
I want to go out kangaroo style.
You ever see that kangaroo that's built like a brick shithouse?
Yeah.
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 That kangaroo, that smoking Joe kangaroo that Matt Hardy fought. No, thank you. I'm not doing that. I'll take my chance with the ducks.
Yeah, we got to get Terry back here, but most of
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Okay.
most
I'm trying to get my video
annoying
back on.
thing you have to move when you move somebody. What's the one thing you hate moving?
Bad.
The bed?
It's
Mom?
either
Yeah,
that or if they have like a huge weird TV that is so awkward you can't find a place to put your hands on the big TV. The one with like
I would
The
say sleeper
infamous
sofas.
massive box.
I'd
Like
say
when
couch.
people go and get those giant freaking boxes and load them with everything in the house.
I actually think I gave myself a hernia trying to move Molly's books. You know how heavy books are in a box, and you think it's a light box, and you go to pick it up, and you weren't ready for 15,000 books to be in that box?
Terry did that with many of my moves.
Yep, I remember that.
Yep.
Oh, Molly just said Tom is going to say books. I bitch about her books all the time. Why do you keep books? What are they, trophies?
Yes.
Like, why do I got to move them everywhere?
Hey, Terry, nice house. Can you turn the camera back around, buddy?
There he
There you
is.
go.
Yeah, I got my camera working.
hey,
Camera, voice, face, we're good.
All right, most sentimental thing you own. Thing that means the most to you.
Oh,
I'll go first if it's all right. I have a military challenge coin. Actually, give me 1 second. I'll grab it for you.
All right. Yeah, we'll just all shut up and wait. That's fine.
I'll pipe in. I'd have to say my grandfather's guitar.
Okay. I got an eagle feather that means a lot from me, given to me. And I'm allowed to have it.
I have I saw that. I have a hockey puck from the Tanner McQuiston Memorial game.
Yeah.
I have a series of photos that were custom framed from my great grandfather's barbershop to my grandfather's barbershop to my mom's barbershop.
Okay.
What
Nate?
about you, Nate?
I have black and white socks. Now here's the thing.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. I wear 1 black sock and 1 white sock. The first time I ever did that was by accident, and I had the best show of my life. And so I always wear, no matter what, I wear a white sock and a black sock. And it's
Nice.
yeah, it's a superstitious, sentimental thing. Other than that, I don't really have anything. Just yeah. Besides my 1-year pin at Stinker gas station. Oh yeah.
1-year pin.
So I've got this. This was a military challenge coin that the
That's awesome,
President of the
man.
United States. Yeah, the President of the United States gave this coin to a Marine at 9/11 at Ground Zero.
Oh wow.
That Marine then gave it to his best friend who was off duty during Boston bombings. And that guy gave it to me at the coming home thing when I came back from Afghanistan.
Oh wow.
So
I'll give you $5 for it.
no. So
$6.
the rule for this challenge coin, normally when you get challenge coin in the military, they put your name or your unit on the back. With this one, it's left open blank. When you get one of these challenge coins, you're actually supposed to never keep it. You're always supposed to pass it on. I've had it for 9 years, and they told me that I need to wait until I find the absolute perfect person to give it to.
Okay.
And then
$8.
they got to do the same thing. $8. Does that come with a rubbing tug or not?
Sure, I'll give you a reach around. I'm a gentleman. That's fine.
Well, I mean, we can Dutch rudder. I'm not going to sit here and leave you in the cold.
Oh, you're not going to leave me hanging? Cool. Okay. Now it's up to $12. Oh, all right, everyone. Let's get into Terry. We're going to get into your Japanese trip soon. But Ben, if you don't mind explaining your story a little bit so people can get it out of your mouth instead of out of my mouth.
Sure. Okay, so I'm going to give the Cliff Notes version because it's just way too long. It's just way too long. We all know that it's like, my story is like the freaking Lord of the Rings trilogy. It just goes on forever. So the quick version is that I was a professional wrestler for 5 years. I left pro wrestling in 2010, joined the United States Army, trained in Fort Benning, Georgia with the infantry units there, was stationed in Fort Polk, Louisiana as part of the 10th Mountain Light Infantry Division. I was there for 16 hours before I got my orders to go to Afghanistan. I then called my wife, told her I had to go to Afghanistan. I shipped out in January of 2011. I was there until August of 2011. On August 25th, 2011, we were on a patrol in a district in Afghanistan that we had been in for about 4 years. And our unit was pretty heavy in the action at that point in time. And we had experienced a lot of resistance pushing towards this zone that we wanted to get to. And we were expecting more, and we got more. So the entire day was quiet until about 5 o'clock. And then I was in a firefight with my guys and wound up being shot in the face by a 7.62 sniper round, which is the equivalent of a 30-06 hunting rifle round. The bullet went in backwards, hit me in the front mouth here, and stopped in the back of my jaw right here. Obviously, at the end of my war, was transported to the FOB in Afghanistan, then to Bagram Air Force Base, and then was flown home to San Antonio, Texas. I was critical twice, where I basically flatlined on the plane ride over from Afghanistan to Germany in order to get me home, and then it took about 2 days, and I was back in the States. And then after I was back in the States, I had 16 facial reconstruction surgeries, and it took 1,900 days to put my face back together until everything was done. And so that all happened. I got back into professional wrestling in 2016. I came back full time. I started being a booker and head writer for Wisconsin Pro Wrestling in Green Bay. Started my own company called Frontline Pro, which donates portions of every show we do to veteran causes and nonprofit veteran organizations. We primarily focus on PTSD and suicide awareness because I've had 15 of my guys take their own lives since 2014. And it's a very near and dear thing to me. And Frontline Pro, I'm proud to say that in 19 months, we've raised $26,000 in charitable funds for multiple organizations throughout the U.S. And we look to keep going forward and doing it. And Terry's a great part of it. And he was one of the guys who helped kind of push me to do it because I was worried that I was going to fail. And I can specifically remember me and Terry having a conversation where he just asked me on the phone, like, what are you waiting for? You know all this stuff already. There's no reason to wait. So, kind of drive between him and then my wife pushing hard for me to expand on the hobby because I'm a hermit. That's where we are today now. So it's going well.
Well, thank you very much for all your service. I'm sorry for what you had to go through, brother. I know when Terry dropped that bomb on me that Ben got shot in the face, we didn't have any more news because why would they call me and Terry? And that was it was like, holy crap, is he actually coming back? I remember that day when he told me.
Yeah, I was in a medically induced coma for 6 days. So I went to sleep in Afghanistan literally, and then woke up and in San Antonio, Texas, in Fort Sam Houston, which is where they transported me. And it was something where at first it was all messed up. Really quick funny story about that. They called my mom. They called my wife and they told her that I had a cut on my leg. That I was injured. I was injured in the.
Well, you technically did.
Yeah.
that I had a cut on my leg. So apparently, I had, in my infinite wisdom of being messed up in the head because I was shot, decided to say, just tell my wife I got a cut on my face. I don't want her to be mad. And they fulfilled my request because they thought I was going to die. so they told me, oh, he's got a cut on his face. And my wife is like, why are they calling me? This is so stupid. Then called her back like 6 hours later or something like that. And they were like, well, no, he's got shrapnel in his face. It's more serious. And my wife didn't know for 2 days after I was shot that I was shot until finally the third time they came through with all the information. They were like, he's in serious critical condition. He was shot in the face. He's in the air right now. You want him flown to Walter Reed or Fort Sam Houston? And we were stationed in Louisiana, so Fort Sam Houston was only a 7-hour drive. So she picked that. And
Doobie Brothers thanks you for your service, Ben.
Cool.
I think your wife was talking to Gina, and Gina told Terry, and then Terry told me. So it was like, if I had any questions,
Yeah, we had a wicked game of telephone.
There's no way I was ever getting back to be like, is my buddy okay? This is his bedroom. He should be right here, right now, partying with us. It's like, oh.
Terry was the first guy I called out of my hospital bed. Like after I woke up, I think I was awake for like a day, and then I called him, and he was just so cool about it. He's like, so what's going on, buddy? And I'm like, the usual.
I heard a rumor that you were shot in the face.
I was in the hospital because Greta was just born, so I was in the hospital when I first talked to you.
Yep, we were both in the hospital, but for completely different reasons.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was home, and I remember I was talking to Crystal, and she told me.
So now you have a documentary being made about you.
Oh, yeah. So I have a buddy of mine, Eric Beach, who has done multiple things in film in the past. He was actually on a West Kona episode for NBC Sports a few years back because he does Ironmans. He's kind of a badass like that. So Eric and I had actually met on the very first Frontline Pro show, and we had got talking, and he was working with a nonprofit called In Country. They were a mess. It was a great mess. So then we weren't friends for a minute. And then we were friends again because he just kind of talked to me about stuff. And then I think we were in Two Rivers, and he came out and we just hung out with us. And then it was like, we should film stuff. And it just kind of got the ball rolling. And then the next thing you know, he had a really good friend in Hollywood named Tim Abel, an actor. He's doing a bunch of he's been in a bunch of movies like We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson and a bunch of other stuff like that. And he's good friends with Rob Van Dam, and he went and pitched Rob the idea, and Rob had actually just finished filming his documentary Headstrong, which was supposed to be about his comedy tour, but then being about his concussions and CTE, and they kind of came back to us, and it was just so fast, man. It was like in 2 weeks. The next thing you know, it was 11 o'clock at night. I'm sitting in my kitchen talking to Rob and Tim on the phone, wondering how the hell I got to where I was. And now Robin and Tim are executive producers for us. Eric and I have filmed about 80% of it. I think we're basically at the interview stage, and then finally the fight with me and Rob, and we finally do wrestle each other. And then it's just the editing process. But it's been crazy. It's been a lot of fun, but it's been really crazy. I know that I had a lot of help with Terry and Vic for when we went over to Japan, and we had to film stuff in Japan, and they sent us a little GoPro, and we filmed on that thing for the movie and stuff, and it's been really cool. And we're also not just looking at the documentary series, there's also like a web series thing. We've had conversations with like really cool people that I never thought we would, and it's kind of, there's like a lot of options, which is kind of weird, because at first I was like, I don't think anybody's going to want to see this. Like, it's just me, who cares? And so it was cool that everything kind of worked out the way it did. And we're just kind of at the final process of getting everything done, but we just got to wait for COVID to finally decide to be not be.
Well, when you release it, let us know. We're putting it on the show. Tell us a little bit of the culture difference being professional wrestlers here compared to Japan. What did you guys go through? I'm really interested in that.
Terry, you take that one.
Their fans are a little more appreciative of what we do in the ring, where it's either the bad guy or the good guy. They'll just sit there and after a whole move set or something, they'll start clapping instead of yelling and screaming at you and yelling profanities at you like they do here.
Terry, you can say heel and face. We've all been around the biz.
Yeah, we know.
Stop.
Whatever.
Hey, didn't you guys have a fan take you guys out for a steak dinner?
Yeah, we had a couple of them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the biggest thing
Yeah, that was awesome.
The biggest thing I want to add on to Terry's deal is that the Japanese fans, you got to understand this, and especially in like Okinawa, which is the smaller island, which isn't connected to Tokyo at all. Pro wrestling and Major League Baseball are completely 100% real. It is held in the same regard as baseball is. It's held in the same regard as the karate and taekwondo tournaments. I mean, it's not like the redhead stepchild like it is here in the United States, where it's sports entertainment, but it's not sport. It's this and that, and there's all this debate. Over there, it's treated like a pastime, like a true honest pastime. And the fans will take you out to dinners and pay for it, and will just want to get pictures with you. And Terry, here's a great example. Terry, tell them about MDC night, because that was the coolest thing ever.
Oh my gosh. One of the restaurants, the promoter got us to do a MDC night, and it was just Mad Dog Club members there. So it was Vic, Ben, me, Dog Dingo, and
I think that was it because T didn't come.
T didn't come, but Del Negro was there too.
Yeah.
But the fans, like, it was just them sitting and eating with us and just talking, and a bunch of them brought us gifts and buying us drinks. Like, it was so crazy how much like they were just appreciative of us coming over there, or just the wrestlers in general.
That's awesome.
We had 30 people at that thing, and they all paid $50 American to come to hang out with us. Like, it was $50 a person, and they all just to hang out with us. We didn't do anything special. We played some YouTube clips and we drank a lot of beer. Yeah. Plus they bought us drinks. So
well, now
it was crazy.
Here's the thing that I think Terry actually had to check me one day, because we rode to a wrestling show together and I was like a Confederate in the stands. So I was like screaming at Terry because he was a heel that night. And I think you grabbed my beer and threw it into my chest or something. But then after the match, Terry and I are sitting at the bar together and he's like, dude, you can't really sit with me at the bar because we have a feud. How long does the feud stuff last after the show? Like, how long do you keep that up?
For your entire life.
Yeah.
Technically, it's supposed to be when the feud ends in the ring.
Okay.
Like, I've been to plenty of shows where you're at the after party, you cross paths with your opponent, you're throwing down in the bar.
Okay.
I've thrown down in a few bars. It's fine. Not that big of a deal.
To be fair, with Gina's career and the places that she worked and the time frame that she worked, it was a lot more protected back then than it is now. I mean, that was still back in the day. That was still back in the day when if you stepped out of line, guys like Rashi Brown or Jay Ryan or Steve Stone or people like that would pull you aside and not very complimentary.
Well, they let you have it. Like, there's no sugarcoating it. And, like, those were the guys that taught me along with Corp. Dude, I'll tell you what, you were scared to fuck up, for sure. You made sure you were on point with everything, and you honored your roles.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's gotten lost in translation, I think, now in 2020, just because it's a new generation. It's kind of weird. Me and Terry joke about this all the time, that we're the old guys now. And none of us remembered becoming old. I don't feel as old as I suppose we are. But I'll be doing this 15 years at the end of this year, and Terry's been doing it longer than I have. And Gina was in even before me, and I think before Terry, right?
Yeah.
You were before
Ben.
Terry.
No, Gina came in a little, pretty
I
close
came
on the same
in
time as me.
December of 2004.
Okay.
Ben,
That was a year later. I was.
Okay, yeah, so I was in November.
Ben, how cool
Yeah,
is
you
it
were
having
before
Don
me.
Gavin in it?
Oh, okay. I heard your question. Having my son in wrestling now, he's 17. He's been tearing down wrestlings and helping out since he was 11. Every time I got in the car to go do a ring rental or something, even when I wasn't wrestling for the first year and a half I was back here, he always wanted to go. He's not. I don't think that he doesn't like tape study like I do. Like me and Terry could put. Gina's been there. Me and Terry can put on old wrestling and just sit there for 4 hours and never move. he can't do that, but he loves new ideas. He loves sitting down and picking my brain about stuff, and especially at shows, he'll find Terry and Colucci and guys like that, and he does everything right. I'm so glad that he's not the kid that's the entitled little shit. That was my big worry. Like I didn't want him to think I sat him down before we got in the process, and I was like, listen, if you're gonna do this, like when we get to wrestling shows, I'm not your dad. I'm one of the vets. I'm one of the wrestlers. I'm gonna treat you like I'm a young kid. And if I don't, you gotta understand they're gonna think I'm favoring you. And I'm not gonna do that. You're gonna learn everything, and you're gonna be one of the boys. And he had no problem with that. And
Otherwise, no one would respect him.
Yeah, to this day, I think he's one of the most beloved young kids right now because he shows up to every show and turns around and sets up. He never misses. He doesn't ever have to be asked to do something. He never talks back. He only asks questions on how to be better. And it's so cool because he'll do something good and look at me and go, okay, what was wrong with it or what could be better? And I'll be like, well, no, it was awesome. He goes, no, I don't want to hear that. I want to know what they did wrong so I can get better. And so I'm really glad he has that type of mentality. But for him, he's more in than I am, which is scary as a parent because he's like, I don't want to go to college. I want to go be a wrestler. I'm just like,
Did he wrestle at Crusher Fest?
Yeah. That was his debut. So get this, that was his debut show. That was his first. We did those set of tag matches, and that was his first 2 days of wrestling in real matches. He had only done battle royals until then. So he was super nervous, and then Cal Hero, Dave's son, was the other one that was in the ring with us, and I tagged with those guys at the end of the night for night 1 and 2. And they were, I mean, for young kids, they did a great job. But
you don't want to debut in front of 100,000 people.
Dude,
I debut in a bar, man. I'm not.
Yeah, I did. I debuted in Marinette, Wisconsin, at the Firehouse Bar and Grill. And the only reason I got a match that night was because the Chicago guys got snowed out. Gina was supposed to be on that show, and Gina was part of the crew that got snowed out and missed the whole show. And so then they looked and they saw me and Scotty Pride, and we're like, "You guys got gear?" Scotty's like, "No," and I got 2 pairs of gear. And they go, "Well, fine, pick one," and you have him pick one, and you're going. And we wound up being the opener for that show, and it was hilarious. And I told Gavin that, and Gavin goes, "Wow, what was that like?" And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, I debuted at Crusher Fest." I'm like, "Shut your face." So,
I debuted in front of 100,000 people. How was yours? Oh, was it happy hour?
Yeah.
And more people were there?
I debuted at Mid-American.
Jeez.
My night has not been as glorious as Gavin's, but I did see a certain small person get super bullied, and then a bunch of people stood up for him. It was the first wrestler stand-up that I had ever seen, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, it was like, do I get in this? No, I'm gonna go back. I don't know, and I just remember being so freaked out because I was like, if I don't do anything, somebody's going to yell at me. But if I do something, somebody else is going to yell at me. And so I put my odds and I didn't do anything. Luckily, nobody noticed.
Was that Dylan?
I can't say. I don't want to get...
Okay. AKA Hornswoggle. It was Dylan. I know. And he also lived with us.
Dylan didn't live with us. He just hung out quite a bit with us.
Sometimes it's such a blur back then, man. I don't know who I thought Gina lived with us.
I actually lived with you guys for a year. You didn't even notice me. I was the guy on the couch.
I thought you were Dylan.
Tom was the guy on the couch.
No, that was Tommy.
Yeah, that was Tom.
I'll tell you right now that the best part about living with Terry and Jeff, hands down, was Bubba. Bubba was the best part of your house.
Oh, I know what the worst storyline
I
is,
love
and
that.
that's
I
your
love that
brother,
one.
Ben. Your brother, when they made him Mario, and he came out to the Mario music, they're asking what the worst storyline is you did. When your brother had to come out as Mario?
Like Mario Brother?
No.
Yeah.
No, that was Mario.
No, that's not his brother.
That came out. That's not my brother. The worst storyline would be when Chase, my brother, McCoy, did the beach bum Chaz gimmick, and he was a surfer guy, and he surfed
Beach bum
on
Chaz.
a coffin. Yeah, he surfed on a coffin in the middle of a match. I still give him shit to this day about that.
I thought he did like the Mario Kid gimmick and came out to the Mario music.
That's Mario and Crivello, who's still a wrestler
No,
now.
that was
No, it was your brother.
yeah.
No, dude, that was
Yeah.
Mario. Not the same guy. Swear to God, not the same guy.
No.
Mario was given that gimmick by Dysfunction in ICW because Mario was kind of at that time. Like Mario is by far he was the day one guy. He started the same exactly that I did, and he is vastly improved more than any other wrestler in that time frame. But when Mario first started, he was super robotic, and Kurt used to make jokes about it and be like, "He's like fucking Mario Man." And like he would make fun of the fact that he was super robotic in his movements, and his name was Mario. So, well, fuck it, we're just put him out there and call him Super Mario, and there it was.
You got to get your brother. You got to message him because I think he was the Mario Kid at one time.
Man, if it was when
My,
I was born.
No.
My friend Jeremy Nelson here in Boise, also as a stand-up comic, used to be a pro wrestler too. And one of his characters was Chance Montana. And his catchphrase was, "Do you want to take a chance on Montana?" And he has a joke about it. It's way better, but it was god awful.
Gina, I got a question for you. Actually, do you get to choose who you manage when you do wrestling, or do you get assigned a wrestler to manage?
It depends. Like that was one of the trickiest things for me because after about a year and a half, I had multiple companies reaching out to me, but they wanted to put me with people that needed work. And they wanted me to come in and work with the girls that were breaking in. And I was loyal to my team. And I go, well, these are the guys I manage. And they're like, that's not how this works. If you want to work for us, you're going to do it our way. And I'd always run it by my guys because they were the ones that brought me in. And they were like, well, if we're not going, you're not going. And it became like a tug of war until they started really branching off and doing their own thing. And then I kind of was able to pick and choose. Like one team up, I managed Terry for a while at MSPW. The Void Effect, for a long time, I was with American History Next. That was phenomenal. And actually, it's funny because like one of the twisted storylines, it was more or less a booking thing. But the night before, we were in Milwaukee, and I was managing Steve Stone as a heel. And then the next night in Waukesha, I was managing Derek St. Holmes against Steve Stone, and I was supposed to be a baby face. And they had me dressed in like Bible sales clothing, and the fans were at the show the night before, and they had no idea what was going on. Like they're just looking like, what is this? She's been working with this one for years, and now she's a Bible salesman. Like, it didn't make sense at all.
Oh, that's all right.
I have a question for you too, Gina. My question for you is what do you think about the status of the fact that being a manager of ballet nowadays in 2020 is almost like a lost art form? I mean, you have a very select handful in the WWE. You have one really in AEW and Brandy Rhodes, basically. And outside of that, if you go down the list, and even in independent wrestling, we see it too, there's not nearly as many female ballets as there was back then. You know, it's always girls are wrestlers now. Like they are going to be wrestlers. do you still think that there should be a spot for valets yet in the system? Or like what's your opinions on that and the status of it?
I think we play an important role in the sense that we are a good distraction if there's an error in the ring or there's something going on. It's up to us to distract from that until everything is fixed. And we're there to help with, we're the mouthpiece for a lot of it. And it kind of, the more you're around that, the more you pick up those mannerisms and it makes you stronger. And in turn, we learn from the guys. But I remember everyone was pushing me for a long time to learn, to train and learn to bump and do this and that. And when I was with Void Effect, Josh and Adam flat out said, listen, you're not going to learn to bump. You're not a worker. You don't have ring gear. That is not your place. If you learn to bump, you discredit everything else. And it was very firm. Like, you should take a sloppy fall and you should be distraught and it should take you twice as long to get up from the rest of us because you're not a worker. You're not trained to endure that. But your purpose is help us sell tickets, get our merchandise sold, do the photographs, be the sex symbol of the group, make us hated. And I was great at that. I was great at that. Because I just didn't care. So, and I liked being a heel a lot more than a face just because I could get away with a lot more.
Prefer?
See, I always thought I'd be a great manager. I'm sexy as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's hard for me not to have a boner right now with you on the screen, dude. You're sexy as hell.
That's true.
Terry,
You mean you don't have a boner right now? Because I kind of do.
Okay. Terry, you like being a face or a heel?
I don't know. I liked being the heel because it's really not who I am, but also too the crowd likes the baby face more, so you get more kind of attention times. But I would probably prefer being a heel.
Okay.
I actually prefer you as a heel because your entrance music is awesome.
I liked you being a heel because then when I was in the crowd, I could attack you, and you would.
I liked
play
Terry
with
being a
me.
heel because I could manage him. Then he turned on me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was phenomenal and still one of my favorite matches of all time that we did.
Well, what people don't get is
wait.
Terry and I drove together. So when I'm like calling him out and calling him a piece of shit, I live with the guy. He's my buddy. So he gets to come
was a
at me
good heel
harder,
too,
you know?
I challenge you. Terry was my ride or die.
Yeah.
We rode everywhere.
Yeah. What about you,
That's
Ben?
the same with Ben and me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we would all ride down to Chicago together. Where'd Ben go?
Shit, we lost Ben's sound a little bit here. It's really, really
Ben-
quiet.
Ben,
Carrie's
yell.
being funny.
Just yell. No, I'm just
Scream.
kidding,
Oh.
Jump out and jump on again. Molly
Yeah.
will bring you back. Damn it.
Yeah. My camera keeps flipping out on me every now and then.
Well, it's StreamYard. It's new and everybody is freaking doing podcasts right now. So it's hard.
Depending on my mood at work at the gas
Yeah.
station, I'm sometimes a face, but a lot of times I'm the heel.
Yeah. How do you like doing? How do you deal with hecklers? Because there's a nice way and then there's a rip 'em way.
Well,
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough in my lifetime on stage. I haven't had a lot of hecklers. And if it's ever gotten to the point of like I can't handle them, I basically just kind of stop the show and tell them, hey, you either have to shut up or the show will not continue, or you can leave. And that's happened twice to my knowledge of just saying, hey, I can't continue the show. Everybody else paid for the show, and you're ruining it for them. So you have to leave or shut up. Then the show will continue. Those
So you
two
just
options.
became dad, Nate.
Yeah.
Dad's
Pretty
mad.
much.
Yeah.
And I've had bar owners appreciate that because they have to see him the next day, and I don't, and so they appreciated that I told them off and they did.
Mhm.
But yeah,
So
There's a-
where when you guys do wrestling promos, where is the line drawn of what you can and can't go after? Because if I said something like, "Hey Ben, I was the guy behind that sniper bullet that shot you in the face," that's crossing a line pretty fucking hard, isn't it?
No.
Oh shit, we ain't got him. No, we can't hear you. Fuck.
yes, Ron Portier. Don't make me turn this comic book around.
Yeah. Terry, where's the line for you? Like, when does it get too personal? Okay, Gina. What am I talking
What's
to?
happening here?
What the fuck? Where's the
I
line
never-
that you can't cross?
No,
Oh, there's
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, if it gets too personal, there's no need for it. I mean, there's plenty of other things that you can do without getting like into someone's personal life and bringing it out. There's been plenty of times where it's with Ben, with promos he did with him, like, oh, something where he got hit in the chin, right in his chin with a super kick, and someone made a little point to say something about that, and I mean that's fine. I mean that's something different because Ben's okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Who I remember being at a show with you guys.
Tactless.
Who was the guy that got staph infection really bad and almost lost his leg?
Adrian Serrano.
And people called him out about that. And I think that, like, after the match, it was like a fight because he was out there on crutches, almost lost his leg. And you brought that up as your wrestling promo dig. Like, I think a bunch of people were ready to brawl about that.
Yeah, I mean, some people might, if I don't know, if I would have talked to the guy ahead of time, like, hey, you okay with me saying this? Because I mean, sometimes it's a little too soon or digs a little too deep, and I don't mean to be a dick like that, but there's other ways you can get the crowd to hate you besides going that way.
Hey, I love throwing racial slurs out at Luke. That was fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we lived with Lucas in the house. Jesus Christ.
The Mexican jokes just kind of went.
Oh, you Wisconsin boys.
Oh, my God. We got so many stories we could get into about the party house.
Oh God.
Oh, the one night.
I just remember Jeff coming home one night and going, "What happened to the oven?" There was a door when I left. What happened to the oven?
I remember I wanted to go to bed. It was like a Tuesday night, and there's two chicks exploring their sexuality on the pool table and a midget sleeping in my bed. Just like, give me the spray bottle. Give him a rest. Like, give it a rest, ladies. Get this fucking leprechaun out of here. We're done.
Little people.
Yeah, they're called little people now.
Oh, he's fine.
He's admittedly a dwarf, and he'll explain the difference between a dwarf and a midget.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why was he in your bed and not with the two chicks?
He was passed out. He was done.
I guess, after 2 beers, I get it.
No, he drank a lot, actually.
I will tell you this, out of all the wrestling guys that I met, Dylan, Colucci, Ben, through Terry and Gina and everything, those are some of my favorite people in the world. Those,
yeah.
Love seeing them all the time. Colucci,
I miss you, Jeff.
I miss you too.
I always felt like I had to walk on eggshells because I wasn't a wrestler, but I hung out with wrestlers, so I didn't know what I was allowed to say or not say,
I wasn't.
But that house was wrestling, hockey, volleyball, and bar. I mean, we had everything covered.
Yeah.
Even arm wrestling. Yeah.
And yes, you with your 4-year-old arm wrestling championship. You are not discredited, Tommy.
Last year you said 5-year-old. How am I downgrading?
No, I've always stuck to 4-year-old.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes!
Yes.
We did it.
Get that man a championship belt.
Go team.
Ah, screw that. Get that man a beer.
Yeah. That's awesome. Ben, what's your favorite memory of the party house, of a party that went down?
When my dog Rowdy met Steph for the first time. and the way my dog met her was he ran up to her and jammed his whole snout right up her crotch. And it was awesome. I laughed my ass off. That's the first time I ever met her. And she's like, do something about your dog. And I didn't say something nice back. Anyways, continue.
One of my
Isn't
favorite
that how you
Ben
and Molly met,
moments.
Tom?
One of my favorite Ben moments is when he was breaking in, and he started as a ref at Brew City. We all went out to the bar, shit face, went to Denny's after, and a bunch of them were staying at the house after.
I was there.
And Terry knocks on the door and he's like, so Ben ate like 2 or 3 pies. I'm like, he also drank the entire bar, make him puke before he comes in. And I'm standing and I won't let them in the doorway, and Terry goes, Ben, you gotta puke. And he turned around and hurled all over the bushes. He's like, can I go to bed now?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Home to that.
I was just trying to be a team player. I don't understand why there's any controversy.
That is my favorite Ben moment, because you were just like, okay.
My favorite Gina moment is the photo shoot with your leg broke with the stick in the dumpster. That's down in Chicago when we took all those when Jill took all those photos of us, where I was like trying to throw you in a dumpster and get rid of your body. I was chasing you down with a stick.
When I had the torn tendons in my ankle and you were chasing me through the parking lot.
Yes, that was the best.
Yeah, that was an elite
when
pro.
Terry wrestled Jeff.
Yes.
Oh,
My
man.
favorite Tom moment.
Yeah.
I can imagine living there. My favorite Tom moment is when he first met Molly,
Oh, man, does
and he
nobody
ran
else
up
do
and put his snout up her cooch. That's
Yep.
that's my favorite.
I gotta get the scent. I remember we used to play a joke on Ben. This may get too. Maybe I can't tell this one. Me and Corey used to fuck with you, my girlfriend Corey at the time. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say it, but whatever.
It's fine.
We used to
can boo
always
him if we
say,
want.
we were joking. Me and Corey weren't ever gonna do it, but we always, when you got super
Right.
drunk, we would say, we want to do a threesome with you, Ben. And then there would always be one excuse, like, oh, I'm on my period. Oh, I can't. And we would come, but we would lead you on to think it was gonna happen.
Well, I was fairly desperate at the time, so I'm not surprised.
No, but it was always just funny. Like, let's tell Ben we want to do it tonight. And then you would buy into it, and we're like, oh, now how do we get out of this?
You made your bed, Tommy. You gotta lie in it.
Like, okay.
Is
was funny.
it sad that I was going for that more for you than her? Like, is that weird?
You were trying to get me? Holy crap. I didn't know what type of shit I would.
Well,
Whoa.
I mean, you got to be comfortable with your partners, don't you, man? I'm just saying.
I was thinking no eye contact type thing, but okay.
Well, we can always do the Eiffel Tower and just put our heads down.
Yeah. Double high five. We're fine.
It'd be awesome. My wife is going to watch this later and be like, "You're never allowed on that show again."
Like, well, dude, you should never let us into that house again.
Hey, whatever happened to that house?
So update on that house.
Oh,
is
we
I
sold
kinda
it?
bought a house in the same neighborhood.
Mhm.
So when I go and take my dogs for a walk, I walk by it. It's bought by two. I think was bought and sold twice. They fixed it up kind of nice. The M is still on the door, and there's not 300 forks in the front yard.
Yeah, that was a good
Plus.
prank.
Yeah,
It's owned by a nice Mormon family.
I would assume that there's still marks on the counter from when we tried cutting a pizza with a sword.
Oh, I bought that sword. I gave it to
It was a
Lucas.
machete.
Yeah,
I
whatever.
still don't feel like that was our worst idea, though.
No,
No,
God,
I bought.
God,
a
there were
sword.
so many bad ideas in that
I bought a
house.
sword at a bait shop.
Oh, yeah,
at
there's
4
so
in the
many bad
morning
ideas.
up in by the Wolf River, and it was like a Highlander sword, and it was only $40. And there was like my uncle sent me in to get like worms and minnows and shit, and I only came out with a sword. And then we used that sword to cut the pizza.
I remember thinking in that house it was a good idea to try and outdrink Terry and gave myself alcohol poisoning.
Really? Oh yeah, you got alcohol
no.
poisoning. Terry's
As
mom
we
had to
fought
save you.
over a frozen pudding pop.
We had some
That's
frickin'
insane.
times, you guys. This is awesome. I wish there was like the live video that we could have done back then.
I can remember Jeff
Yeah.
literally like cuddling me because I got a bad thing of weed and I totally freaked out. So bad.
You guys want to
So
know
bad.
Jeff, his true personality, why he's the local legend of all time? Me and Terry used to buy a case of beer every day. We'd go back and forth. And Jeff used to drink fucking half of it. So the one day we finally call him out on his bullshit and say, hey man, you got to pick up some beer. So he brings a 6-pack of rings and snaps one off and hands us 5 and says, there, we're even. And he drinks one of our beers. That's the local legend, I know. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Well, I still got to go get beer. 6 ain't enough for us tonight, Terry.
Tom, I did spend $150 on FozFest 1 for beer.
Great. We bought beer every day for 3 years.
No.
One time. That's all that matters.
You bought a 5-pack.
One time.
First time I met Jeff, he introduced himself, threw me up over his shoulder, and then lawn darted me into his aunt's pool and was like, welcome to the fucking family. Like, walked away.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, that's not right.
that's about right.
And Terry's like, well, yep, that's my brother.
Yep.
Nothing will be as epic as when Terry met my dad, though. That was the be all end all of all between two people ever in the history of the world.
Yeah.
You can tell him, Terry.
Go ahead, Terry. Speak up.
First time I went up to Ben's parents' house, and all of a sudden I'm dressed in like a nice dress shirt, jeans, and everything. All of a sudden his dad's up at the barn, and he's like, "Oh, Ben, the hog got out, blah blah blah." And so we had to try and catch a hog, and we got it. We caught it and put it back in the pen. And then his dad's like, "Oh, Terry, my name's Chuck Monty. I'm covered in pig shit, but nice to meet you."
And we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, first thing is like, yes.
BFF.
The first
Yeah.
time I met Tom, actually, this is actually a true story, how I got involved with Off the Rails. A comic on Facebook said, hey, I have to drop out of the show. I have to drop out of the show. I need somebody to help close out the show. All I know is it's at a park. So I go, okay, that's going to be an awkward show to begin with. So I get there, and there's 2 comics who have only done it like once or twice in their lifetime. There's a very heavy metal band. There's a trays of hot dogs and chips. There's old people in wheelchairs. There's kids, and there's just 10 people altogether, including Tom and Mark. I go, what the hell did I get myself into? But it was actually a fun show, and we've been friends ever since.
I paid
I mean,
you
most people
so you
have
got to
that
take some
same
home.
reaction when they meet Tom, so it's fair.
Yeah.
Nate, that was Wayne, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Wayne
Wayne.
Gunther.
Yeah.
Oh. Who's now a mystery novelist.
Who is he? That's good.
He's a comedian, so he's writing books. Ben, when are we gonna get your documentary? When's that coming out? What's the schedule?
Right now, well, the original schedule is actually to have it done in the beginning of the spring next year, but we're probably pushing back 6 months more than likely because of COVID and everything else. So we're looking more than likely at the end of
What the hell was that?
the end of next year.
End of next year already? Dang, that sucks.
And speaking of COVID,
it's just a lot of stuff. We're gonna put out. We're probably gonna put out a web series of just like snippets from the film. Probably about a series of 5 to 10, about 5 to 10 minutes long for each of them, and kind of just on various topics. I know that they already that the directors and everybody they already went and talked to Terry. They had a big long shoot day there. He shot a lot of other stuff with like family stuff and down home stuff. And then there's also a lot of extra footage that we have that we just wanted to release out too between now and time that the stuff finally gets finished up with editing. And so that'll all be coming out hopefully here starting next month.
Awesome. Terry, when did you grow the William Riker beard? Was that for the documentary?
I've had my beard for the last few years because my work allowed me to grow facial hair, so I grew a beard.
Hey, how's your wife like that haircut?
Jeff did it.
She wasn't happy
I
at
know
first,
Jeff
and now
likes
she's
that.
kind of.
Jeff is officially banned from the
He did it
scissor.
for me.
It
Jeff
the
was the most
No,
girly
it was
person
just-
when we lived
That's just
together.
Clippers.
You remember that, Terry? When Jeff always would come out of his bedroom and be like, how do I look? What do I need to change? What's your opinion, guys? And we're like,
Yes.
you look. Do I look okay? I'm like, that's exactly how you look. Only okay? Well, that's what you asked. Boom.
Like, you look good. Well, I think I'll change his shirt.
Change the shirt, yeah.
No, Jeff, that shirt looks good. No, I think I'll change it.
As far as like, I don't know if you were manscaping or exactly what was going on, but
Oh, he was
you were-
manscaping.
you
Probably.
always took longer. Me and Terry were quick. We were in and out, guys. Just find a backwards baseball cap, throw on a t-shirt, and get the hell out of Dodge.
Nope.
Jeff had to be pretty.
Someone's got to look pretty.
Ooh, that's a good question, Ron. Throw Ron's question up there. What match all made you want to get into wrestling? What's the one that hooked you?
Oh, man.
I like all growing up. I was always like watching the cruiserweights, and that's what kind of got me hooked. And then I can't say like a particular match got me hooked, but just
Was
being
it
a wrestling fan as a
WCW's
kid.
first
and
hour of Cruiserweight? With like
yes,
Chavo.
that's how I always made sure
Lucha.
I switched back and forth back in the day.
Yeah. WCW
me-
went for 3
Then
hours.
I know it's Bret Hart.
Started at 7 to 10, and WWE was 8 to 10. So you got to see before you switch back over the whole cruiserweight matches.
Yes. Yeah.
Ben, what was yours?
Mine would be the first ever live show that I went to. I went to the WWF in 1993, right before WrestleMania 10, and the main event was Bret the Hitman Hart and the 1-2-3 Kid against Owen Hart and Shawn Michaels. And
Wow.
I watched that match, and the finish was Bret put Shawn in the sharpshooter. Owen came to try to break it up, and the 1-2-3 Kid jumped over the top of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels while still in the sharpshooter and hit like a flying jumping kick and knocked one out of the ring and pushed himself off to clear the other two guys underneath him. And that was the finish of the match. And I just remember watching that and looking up at my dad and saying, I'm doing that. I don't know how I get that, but I'm gonna do that.
I actually just watched something on him. He's actually pretty jacked. Sean, who's that? Sean Waltman or whatever. He's actually
yeah, X-Pac.
he's pretty
Yeah.
jacked now.
He's in really good shape for being in his mid-40s.
Yeah.
What about you, Gina?
For
Yeah.
me, I mean, I watched WCW like it was religion almost, but what really pushed me was the Lita and Trish Stratus feud. And the fact that you had two women that were powerhouses and
sexy.
they didn't look like every other woman on the show.
Oh, hot as fuck. What?
That too.
Sunny?
But I mean, I used to dress like Lita. I didn't care. Like I had all the fishnets and the just fishnet bra and baggy pants. I didn't care. Like that was, to me, that was intriguing. And it was just, you don't have to look like a cookie cutter like everyone else. You can be yourself and like really define your role.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to go out in an evening gown.
Honky Tonk
I also
Man
think-
ordered the Barbara Beat cake? Is that when he cut his hair, or whose hair did he cut?
Oh, he got Jimmy Hart, man. He didn't get Honky. He got Jimmy
Yeah.
Hart.
He got Jimmy Hart? Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for everybody. Since the
No, Jim's-
COVID-19
that's a really good
season,
point. That's actually the first ever real women's feud was Lita and Trish. At least the first feud that a company actually got behind. You know, as far as marketing it, as far as pushing it into like a second hour main event slot instead of having it be one of the first 3 matches on the card. Like they pushed that really hard, and it's a good thing that they did, because I don't think I'll always be the guy who says that the genesis of the women's evolution wasn't Alundra Blaze, it wasn't Sable, it wasn't Sunny, it wasn't any of them. It was Trish and Lita, because those were the girls who went from being managers strictly with TNA and then SA Rios and the Hardys to being actual female wrestlers that were really, really good.
It was the evolution of the female, and that was important. That was a big thing.
Mm-hmm. So what advice, we got a question from Kirsty, what advice would you give a woman that wants to take steps into the wrestling world?
Pay attention. Pay attention to the roles and really get an understanding of how you want your character to be defined, because once you get in there, everybody has an opinion about you and they're more than willing to tell you everything you screwed up on, but there's no real accolades unless you really find a way to wow someone. And every promoter will tell you, you need to earn your keep, which is true for everyone, but for the women, we can be replaced by a tube top and a mini skirt in the front row for nothing. So you need to bring it to the table and set yourself apart from everyone else. Have the passion.
Your way to the top.
There he is.
He's so pretty, isn't he?
Yeah.
So pretty he is.
Hey, there he is. Nice flower shirt, dude.
He's got that ponytail now, so he feels real cool.
At least it's not in a man bun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's banned and outlawed in this house.
Terry, how, say like, a promoter asked you, like, I want you to have Hot Gina manage you. How do you take that? Is like, why do I need a manager? What? Or do you say, I don't even know Hot Gina from anyone? Like, what are you doing?
Well,
like, how do you do that?
If it makes sense, to like, this is the way we're gonna go, and this is the way we're going with the story or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I don't mind. I mean, we can make it work, but as long as it all makes sense to me to have a manager.
Gina, have you ever been in a position where somebody didn't want you as a manager, but the promoter wanted you?
Yes.
Okay.
Down in AEW, they were putting me for a while with some of the green kids because they weren't good with entrances. They weren't good on the mic. They didn't know what to do, and they couldn't get
Jeff Krueger, Terry Krueger, and me.
Hey. And so
this is a podcast.
Hey, Crystal.
They all say hi.
They stuck me with a kid from Iowa. I don't even remember his name, but he had a massive fit in the locker room every time. I worked like 3 shows managing him, and then finally he just quit. He's like, I don't need a manager, but the guy, I mean, he couldn't bump properly. He couldn't say anything on the mic. His entrance was literally him walking down and just stepping in the ring and like, hey, what's up? I'm here. And it just didn't work. There was no crowd amplification or anything. Like, he needed the help and he didn't want it.
Yeah.
He thought it was an insult to have a girl there to support him and make him stronger.
Oh, that's stupid. I would love having a manager. Somebody that can throw like
it made things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought of it so differently, Tommy, because when I just remember being in Bruce City and working at MSPW, we used to beg to get Gina. Like a lot of us did. I unsuccessfully did. I always wanted Gina to be with me in MSPW, and I kept picking it to Steve Stone, and he was all like, no, we're going to put you with Derek St. Holmes. And I was like, no, you don't understand. It doesn't work that way. Like, he's already got a lackey. I need to do this differently. And I never did convince him, but I just remember that a lot of guys used to fight for Gina because because here's the thing. For every Gina that you have who knows what to do and knows their spacing and timing and knows the rhythm of a match, when things are going on correctly and when they're going wrong, and knows when to improvise on the fly if something does go haywire, there's 50 other girls who are some wrestler's girlfriend who just wants to keep tabs on him, who decides to jump into the business in order to try and do it, and then winds up banging a different wrestler anyway, and sucks at her job. So we used to fight for the Ginas and Val Malones and girls and Katie McCormick's and girls that could actually like do stuff. And
they cut the rough edges off of a match that might not be going perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And we fought to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And especially for young guys, they were so instrumental. There's so many young guys. Like, I got really lucky. I had Katie McCormick manage me. I was up in WPW in Green Bay, or when it was NWA Wisconsin, and Terry had Tan-M. And we were really lucky because we were young guys, and I think we both needed that buffer because, you know, both of those girls were in there longer than I was. And it was just little things where you didn't have to, you could give them a spot, you didn't have to worry about it. And I think that's the biggest difference, you know, between managers like Gina. And Gina was better, and no offense to those girls, but Gina was better than both of them. And it was just one of those things where you always wanted to work with somebody like that because it made your night easier. And why wouldn't you want to have the easier night and have a better match? So
yeah,
that's my opinion.
Awesome. We got one more question before we wrap this up, you guys. Thank you all for coming. How would you rate the different federations over the world, and where was your favorite place to wrestle?
Oh, mine would be wrestling in Japan was awesome.
Japan was your...
Yeah, Okinawa specifically with Ruku Dragon Pro. They were an absolute blast. Although doing the Budokan with Terry was, for just tap out, was amazing because you're sitting there with legends. You're with Fujinami, and I got to work with Minoru Suzuki and Taka Michinoku. And
Budokan.
These are guys I grew up watching, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm in the ring with these guys, and it was just crazy to be in the same arena as those guys were. Okay. And Japan will always be number one.
My basement's number 2 for me.
Yeah, and Jeff's backyard is number 3 for me.
I never went to Japan. Our Japan tour that we were supposed to do with me and the tag team got canceled. I don't know if a couple months before we were supposed to go.
Eat during a podcast, but I'm fucking fat and hungry, so
that's all right. We're gonna wrap this up quick here. Ron's got a question.
Okay,
we'll get answered and stuff.
But I would say the company that taught me the most was AAW, like out of Illinois. I learned the most, and I really grew there.
Okay.
The question doesn't involve you, Jeff. Shut up and eat your food.
Yeah, eat your pizza.
Damn it, Ben. Everything involves me.
He's the local legend. You want 5 beers? He's your man.
He also makes killer breakfast burritos.
Or killer breakfast eggs. When 2 lesbians are exploring each other on the pool table and there's a midget passed out in your bed, Jeff will make you eggs to make you feel better.
Yeah. Give me 5 beers.
Give me 5
I like how you tell that story and there's a little kid talking.
She can't hear it.
What do you think about the trend of wrestlers just putting on a tank top and jeans and going out there with any kind of thought into their ring attire? Do you need?
I think you're lazy.
Garbage. Lazy.
Yeah,
fucking garbage. Like, you don't belong there, and you should be like fucking shot on every chance someone gets.
Yeah. Even my niece thinks it's garbage.
It's like stand up.
Let's put it this way, Tom. If you had let's put a wrestling world in the real world. If you had a job interview and your job required a certain dress code, and you showed up in a tank top and jeans, do you expect that company to keep you?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a level of respect for the business.
Well, it's just saying that, anybody can do this.
You can only have so many guys that are like, I'm a street fighter. I wear jeans and a tank top. And I'm a street fighter. And yeah, Dean Ambrose got it over. Good for him. That's great. You know, I mean,
that's his gimmick.
But let's honestly look at the other stuff. The second that Ambrose,
but not every match is going to be a street match.
Exactly. And the second Ambrose left WWE, he wore either. You know, so it's annoying as a promoter. It's super annoying because you want to book guys and they're like, "Here's my headshot," and it's fucking a tank top and jeans or it's shorts. I really like
when they show up. You should hand them like gear and be like, "This is what you're wearing. You want to work, you want to get paid. This is what you wear to the ring."
Well, and see, now there's a new trend. It's not tank tops and jeans anymore. It's cut sleeveless T-shirts and shorts. That's the poor wrestler's favorite in the business.
I think I just threw up in my mouth a little.
Yeah, Gina's not putting up with that. She's not going to be your manager if you show up in jorts and a tank top. So,
Well, that was going to be my character. I was going to be a fat bearded man in jorts
And Daisy Dukes.
and Daisy Dukes. That's it.
well,
No,
now
that
we
was
got a
my
character.
Look out, world!
Awesome. Well, everybody, this has been a blast. We could do this a million times in a row again, but I'm gonna thank you all for coming. Terry, we got to hang out soon, brother.
Thanks.
Gina, you got to
Yeah,
come over
definitely,
here. I
dude.
got to go to Vegas. Ben, thank you so much for your service. Nate, didn't you win comedian of the month 2 times in a row?
Comic of the month. Yeah.
2 times in a row. We got
I mean,
world famous
nice.
comic Nate Ford and Jeff.
Yeah.
Hello. So.
Hi.
It's ball tugger.
Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Oh, thank you all.
One
Put in
of
my
these-
time.
It's
Local
like
legend.
God-given.
Sesame Street. It's like Sesame Street. One of these things just doesn't belong here.
What do you mean? Hey, hang on. I've done my fair share of. Okay, I haven't. I've done some wrestling.
All right.
Jeff is the
I've been
best
local hockey
fan when you
legend.
get a picture of beer in him.
Yes, he is. He works the crowd. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm not asking
Yeah,
for
thank
money on
you.
Patreon anymore until all this shit is over it. But if you do shop on Amazon, go to our website, offtherailstm.com. Just click the Amazon link. We get between 3 and 10%. They give us a cool kickback. Helps out the show. We put it there.
Oh,
We're
nice.
gonna get back in the studio soon. So thank you all. I love you all. And
Yeah, thanks.
Ben,
Thank
Gina,
you.
I'll catch you later.
Thanks for tuning in, universe.